National Parks Traveler. Postcards from the parks.
Glen Canyon National Recreation Area in southern Utah and northern Arizona is best known for Lake Powell. But across its more than 1 million acres, there's a lot more than Lake Powell. There are spectacular vistas of fossilized sand dunes. And cut into that spectacular landscape are washes and drainages. The Escalante River is one of the main rivers that flows down into Lake Powell. Over the years, though, it has been invaded. Non-native Russian olive and tamarisk trees have found their way into the ecosystem and have worked their way up these washes and along the Escalante River, posing problems for the native vegetation. This is Kurt Repenchek with National Parks Traveler. I'm deep inside Glen Canyon National Recreation Area with Jonathan Packlin, the Conservation Programs Manager for Grand Staircase Escalante Partners, a nonprofit group that has been working for a number of years to tear out some of this non-native vegetation. Jonathan, what can you tell me about the program that your organization runs here?
Well, we've been working for a number of years with Escalante River Watershed Partnership since 2009 to remove Russian olive throughout the watershed, and that's a 1.3 million acre watershed. Much of that is in Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. That's the southernmost section of the watershed, and we employ several people, 2 field staff and myself. We also use a number of Conservation Corps crews to help us with removing and treating Russian olive.
And a lot of those come to you from the Utah Conservation Corps?
Yes, that's correct. They're part of our partnership, and they also have agreements with the Bureau of Land Management and other organizations that help provide funding for those crews.
Yeah. You know, how long has your organization been involved in doing this?
Well, we've been involved for about 10 years, and we consider ourselves a program of the partnership that is dedicated to this problem. And we've covered 90 miles of the Escalante River, and there's probably a couple hundred miles of tributaries that have all been treated, and that's probably around 5,000 acres of treatment across the watershed.
I guess the question that I'm wondering is, I mean, it seems an insurmountable task. I mean, we hiked in here 5 miles. Some of your crew here were carrying packs of 70 pounds or more. And like I said, there are these washes, it seems, in every direction, and a lot of them have tamarisk and Russian olive. So it's got to be a daunting task.
It is. It's a remote landscape, and it's a challenging landscape, and there's very little access other than on foot. And so over those years, it's taken hundreds of people putting in hundreds of hours each and millions of dollars, really, to make it all happen. And that's for hiring the crews and the coordinators. And in the past, they've used chainsaws, and that requires horse packing. So we've hired local outfitters to pack in equipment. And now we're in the retreatment phase, which is still lots of work, and we have to cover a lot of ground. But thankfully, we can do much of that on foot and with some very large backpacks.
And I guess the question, though, to the layman might be, well, you know, Russian olive, it's a beautiful tree. It's an ornamental tree that was brought into this country for that purposes. Why worry about tearing it out? What's its threat is it posing to the landscape?
Yeah, and it was planted intentionally in towns in the area for a lot of reasons, and some of those include windbreaks and erosion control. But it's very good at erosion control, so good, in fact, that it changes the way the river flows, and it armors the banks and creates a channelized river, which is not really what a desert river does, and so that affects not just plants, but the habitats for fish and wildlife. And so it's was identified as the biggest threat to the ecosystem here.
For the traveler, this is Kurt Repenchek, deep inside Glen Canyon National Recreation Area along the Escalante River.
National Parks Traveler is a 501c3 nonprofit media organization providing daily editorial coverage of national parks and protected areas. Traveler's coverage is made possible by reader and listener donations. Visit us at nationalparkstraveler.org.